Hey guys, so I have been throwing around the idea of making this video for a couple weeks now. This is a area that I speak about pretty candidly, specifically when I am training those that are becoming foster parents, or when I'm speaking with people that are looking into adoption, because I am passionate about it. I won't go into all of the things related to culture and identity and the importance of celebrating that and digging in deep with that if you are fostering, and especially if you're adopting a kid of a different background, ethnic background than you. And I'd love to spend more time talking about that. So if you have questions, please put that in the comments section, because I would love to talk more about this or do some blogs on this if it would be helpful, because I just think it's a conversation that needs to be had more. And as a Hispanic adoptee raised in a white home, with parents who didn't have the resources that we have now, and just even having lived that, what does that mean, and how do we do this better, and how can my experience and others help, new adoptive families create healthier dynamics for their kids. So leave that in the comments if you have a specific question or you'd like me to talk about something more. But I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about something that I have seen in the adoption and foster community, specifically in reaction to the killings that have come out in the past few weeks, with Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And I've seen this before whenever there has been a murder that has happened, that has made national news. What I have seen is white parents going on social media who have adopted Black kids specifically, but I think that this is also felt by this could pertain to any white parent that's adopted a kid that is of color. And so is the posts of "this could be my child." And if you have posted those things, you are right. Unfortunately, in the country that we live in, there is a real danger that racism is real, not only in individuals, but even bigger systemically. We have a problem in this country with racism. But let me tell you why those posts, to me, are sometimes hard for me. Because although if this is the first time that you have become aware of what is going on in our country because of your love for your child, and you realizing that their experience and their lived reality is different than yours, I am glad that you are here. I'm glad that you are awakening to this, and I welcome you, and I know that many others will, into this conversation and into this fight. And we are glad that you love your children enough to be aware of this issue that's going on. I think the piece that is missed in those posts, and I don't believe is intentional, but I think just maybe unaware, is it comes across as it's just your child that you're concerned about. That maybe you're not as concerned for the community as a whole, that you're maybe not concerned with the bigger issues at hand. And so although it may be your child that you've adopted, that when these things happen, you realize the bigger, deeper issues. Loving and caring for your child well means creating a culture around them, a community around them, a world around them where this doesn't have to be a reality for them anymore. And so I think being aware of your child's black skin or brown skin, even though that may be your starting point, even though that may be your welcome or your wake up call, and again, welcome, that is just the beginning. Because it cannot just be about your child. And again, I don't think that those posts are intentionally intending that, but I think sometimes that is what it conveys. That if you had not adopted a black or brown child, you may not be in this conversation. And that may be a reality. But now that you are, what does that mean on a larger scale? Because if you want to create a world where that isn't something they experience anymore, there are so many pieces to this that are bigger than just a single individual. And so my intention is not to shame you if you are just arriving to this conversation. I have lots of friends who have not adopted, white friends who are really becoming aware of these issues in our country, and they're joining this conversation, and they're reading, and they're learning, and they're sitting and understanding from their friends of color. And I think that's so good. I think we're all glad that you're here, but what do you do with that, right? And that's for everybody, but specifically, where do you go from here if you have adopted a child of color in your home? If this spurs your heart, if you love them and you care for them, what does this do for you? What changes? And I would love to have conversations about what that looks on a bigger scale, systematically. What things can you get involved in? What things should you be aware of? For your own home, what does that mean for your home? How do you embrace a child's culture well? How do you celebrate them? How do you maybe need to change some of your family traditions and the conversations in your home? I would love to have those conversations. So please let me know if that would be helpful. But for this video specifically, I just wanted to raise awareness of these posts I am seeing that, again, I do not think are ill-intended, but if there is not a continuation from them, if there is not a digging deep in them, it is not beneficial to your child to just recognize in a moment that this is their this will be a lived experience, and they could be victims to the racism that's in our country. And so I would love to have more of this dialogue. Again, please let me know if that would be helpful. If you are just getting into foster care and adoption, I encourage you to become resourced and do the work before there's a child in your home. If you already have a child in your home, this is not to shame you. We are all on a journey here. We are all growing and learning. And so I think it's a reminder that this is important. This isn't something we just get to think about when there is a killing that makes national news, but it's a constant thing. If you have taken in a kid in your home that is of a minority group. And so, I hope that I hope that you are hearing my thoughts on this, and not in a shaming way, but in an encouraging way to continue this conversation. Please let me know what would be helpful moving forward. I would love to be a resource, to share my experiences, to encourage you on this journey. We need you. We need more foster families. We need more adoptive families because we don't have enough, just in my state of Arizona, but nationally. And so I would love to continue this conversation. Please let me know if that is helpful or the things that you would like to talk about, and we can go from there. Thanks for listening.